post-game. Getting down to it, SDSU wins 21-0, moving to 5-6. It's a losing season for them, the first time since 2001. So I guess you could say that's disappointing. But for the moment, today is, I guess, a positive note in terms of players stepping up. Players like, I just want to say that I mentioned, I think of Tyler Duffy, who came in and 36 carries. I mean, that's got to be, that has to be the highest on the season for any running back, Minette or not. So that's a lot of rushing yards there, and then that was basically the game. Really was getting the ground game going, and a couple of big plays from O'Brien, like the pass to Cool.
Yep.
You know, what do you think of that performance today all around?
I thought it was a pretty good performance. SDSU moved the ball well in the air. That kind of surprised me with the weather. They 235 yards passing today, so certainly good showing through the air. Still, I mean, they're missing some of those passes that you just kind of wonder about. But and then Tyler Duffy had an excellent game today. He had 30-odd carries, and how many? We never even saw that even when Minette was in. So kind of interesting to see. And special teams, they outplayed UND, no question, and that was. I think that had a lot to do with how the game played out. UND only had one drive where they started in SDSU territory, so.
And then 10 straight offensive series for UND that ended in a punt.
Yep.
So that, I mean, it was just a defensive performance that was on from the onset, really, and 6 sacks too.
Yep.
2 of those by Dirk Cool. Just tons of pressure on the quarterback. That's something that's kind of been evident the past couple of weeks. There was a lot of pressure on NDSU last week, and then Missouri State the week before that. So that's something that was missing in the early part of the year, and I think that's something they really could have used, certainly. So getting this is last game for a big group of seniors, and as with any group, there's going to be players that were heavy contributors. Guys like Minette didn't play. Guys like Cole Brody, Brian Fisher on the defensive line. A lot of guys that won't be back, but looking ahead to next season, I think the two big questions are going to be, who's going to supplant Minette for one, and then 2, who's the quarterback. Thomas and O'Brien will be the incumbent one coming in, and he'll look to improve a lot, but a lot of inconsistency, and I think that's just kind of what this year's going to be labeled as, is inconsistent and ultimately disappointing, even if there were bright spots at times. But we move on from this and see how next season goes for them.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens next year. I mean, O'Brien will go into camp the starter, but I mean, there'll be an open competition, I would assume, and it looks pretty convincing now that Cool is going to get the first crack at running back next season. So it should be interesting to see what happens. I thought, like you said, the defense excelled in each of the last 3 games. I think that's something to build on too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, Jacks only allow 185 total yards. I don't have the weather stats with me right here. It says it was 24.
And a 15-mile-an-hour wind.
A crisp and biting wind is what I would describe it. I still have my stocking cap on. I got hand warmers in my pockets right now. It was cold. It was a cold one out there today.
Crisp autumn day.
So for you 4,000 odd fans that came, I think you should be commended for your efforts. And then I guess SDSU wins 21-0. That rounds out their season. Rounds out basically the fall sports season, moving to basketball now. But thanks for tuning in. Basketball is now first and foremost, and we'll be having live vlogs all throughout the winter in more cozier Frost arenas. So thank you very much for tuning in, and please be looking at us in the future. Thank you.